Thank you, Mr. Chair and Senator. I was raised in Orange County when we had a bunch of orange trees right about the same time Disneyland came into effect, and we had some OHV parks. I came from a very modest income family. I remember my parents buying me what we then called a mini bike for $50 and took it to a place called Saddleback Park.
Yeah.
Hills and I became a motorcycle lover forever, and been riding dirt bikes all my life. And it is hundreds of millions of dollars are spent every year on off-road vehicles. And what we saw in Orange County was we saw developmental pressures that basically put an end to those parks. And then as a county supervisor in Riverside County, one thing we do have a lot of is open space. And we have areas in the county where we allowed for OHV activity, and of course, it instigated a lot of NIMBY activity. And the Board of Supervisors and myself came to a conclusion that if you don't allow for having an appropriate area for these recreationalists to use their wares and enjoy their recreation, then they're going to go into the more sensitive areas that truly have habitat, and they're going to destroy it. And we saw many examples of that in Riverside County. There are some in this state that would opine that every square inch of the state of California has some biological significance. But this piece of property was bought a long time ago with OHV funds, and while we may see open space, habitat areas adjacent to it, we have to have the appropriate set-asides throughout the state, not just in Southern California, but in Northern California too. And I would probably opine that the land in Alameda County, finding a 40-acre or 50-acre site for a reasonable amount of money is probably not going to happen. So my concerns is that we would potentially sell this piece of property and limit, again, where these people can legally use their recreational vehicles. But other concerns that I have, and this is where I'd like the Senator to respond, is that it's my understanding that if the state of California chooses to dispose of this as excess property, that we can sell it for whatever we want. So we also know that this legislature is very sensitive to environmental organizations, and it would be out within the realm of possibility that we could sell it for $1 to an environmental agency that or entity that wants to restore the habitat, which is a yeoman's task. But the ones that are going to get cheated are the ones that paid into this tax for years to acquire this piece of property. So one, would it be appropriate to ask you to amend your bill if this is going to be disposed of, that it be sold, number one, at market value, and number two, that the proceeds go into the OHV fund to buy more land in or adjacent to this particular area so that we can mitigate the loss of recreational opportunities.
Through the chair.
Certainly.
So we're following current law in terms of the disposition of land that's determined to be surplus. So I'm comfortable, being consistent with how we treat other public property in the state. Keep in mind that both the department and the Off-Road Vehicle Commission, they recognize the important purpose that they have to provide this recreational opportunity. They're not trying to sell land for cheap. I think that, look at it, I think that they understood the circumstance that we're in now, they probably would have made a better choice a long time ago. But this has been going on for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. And I want to underscore something I said at the beginning, Senator, which is that this is an option. This doesn't mandate anything on anyone. And the commission and the department can continue on in their practice of trying to get a EIR certified, come in with a specific project plan for the site and go through it all again.
And can I also just direct you to the last 3 lines of the measure? It says, any revenue from the disposition of this land shall be deposited into the fund for the purchase by the Department of Land for off-road vehicle recreation. So it goes there. I mean,
Satisfies one of 2 points. The only other
Yeah.
point was, can we make a provision, and I understand we have some legal issues with the disposition of land with existing policies, but I believe if you take an amendment, I'm sure that legislative staff can put it in the legal language that would give it some teeth to ensure that it's being sold at market value.
Right. Look, I'm very confident that this land will be sold for more than it was purchased by, Senator. It was purchased for around a little over $7 million. And my view is, and my staff's view is that if the department was to choose to make it surplus land and sell it, that they're going to get much more than what they paid for it. And my view is also that if you would like to see more off-road spaces acquired, that this bill helps you get that, because there is nothing ever going to be constructed on this site for off-road, in my opinion, because of the extended litigation, because of the special ecological values that are contained within these in this land. And so I'm trying to be very pragmatic about it, and that's why the bill is before you. It's not advocating one way or the other, except I don't see anything ever happening here. And now you have this bill goes through, you've given an option to the off-road enthusiasts to maybe come to the realization that I've come to, which is that our money is stuck in this space, and it's never going to come out unless we can find something better.
Is there off-road activity on the site right now?
Yeah, I brought a picture. So this borders an existing off-road vehicle park that's right there right now in place. It's called the Carnegie Park, and here it is. Okay, this is adjacent land now. This isn't far away, miles away. This is right next door. Okay, and here is a picture of what's right next door. Okay, that's right next door to this piece here. Okay, so it's not like you have to go far away to go off-roading. It's right here. Okay, a mile from this piece of land here.
But that piece of property was bought with OHV funds, correct?
It was, and any money, if they chose to surplus it, the money would go back into the fund to find a better, more appropriate place to engage in this activity.
And if you would just amend your bill to say it would be a market value, I'd be happy to support your bill.